Big old storm coming over here.
Hey everybody, my name is Captain Mike and this is Real Reports. In a previous episode, I showed you exactly what I keep in my ditch bag just in case of an emergency at sea while out offshore fishing. Well, I think I underestimated the power of the Handheld Vhf as a point of redundancy, as it saved the lives of 5 crew members in a horrific storm while out offshore sword fishing. In this episode, I'm gonna unbox the Standard Horizon HX890, and we're gonna break down that survival at sea and how we can better prepare ourselves in case of an emergency. Let's get started.
Yep, we took on several waves, and then all of a sudden the engines went under. My son goes, "Dad, look, we're out of power." And that's when I grabbed the Handheld Vhf and started calling Mayday.
All right, thanks for joining me today for this safety segment of Real Reports featuring the Standard Horizon HX890 portable VHF with built-in GPS. As I listened to that survival at sea story, I couldn't help but wonder as to what we can take away from it, what we can learn, and how we can better prepare ourselves for if we're ever caught in a similar situation like that. I just want to make it aware that this could happen to anybody. That day was quite the anomaly, as I was actually out there. We saw things go from bad to worse in a matter of minutes. Luckily, we were only a couple miles offshore fishing for kingfish in about 100 feet of water, but for those that were out there sword fishing in a couple thousand feet of water, 20 miles offshore, they really had nowhere to go. That storm came out of nowhere. It blew up quick, gave us no warning. It can happen to anybody. It really made me rethink my float plan. I've been relying pretty much 100% on this. This is my personal locator beacon. It works using satellite and GPS to pinpoint my position. I'm pretty confident in this, but there's no means of communication. You can't talk to anybody. You just gotta trust that they're coming once you activate it. So that's why I decided to rethink my float plan and add a VHF that has built-in GPS. And this is what saved those 5 crew members while out offshore sword fishing caught in that horrific storm. They had big waves coming over the bow. Soon water was in the cockpit, the motors went underwater, and the electrical system went completely out. This means they didn't have access to their fixed mount VHF, which has a lot longer range than a typical 6-watt handheld VHF, which usually has a range of about 3 to 5 miles. It's even shorter than that when you're in the water because of your height. So let's go ahead and unbox this. I want to tell you guys why I chose this one, give you a few specs. Let's do it. All right, first thing on top here, we got the instructional manual right there. Always go through this, skim through it. Doesn't matter how much you know, but you always kind of learn something as technology is changing every year. So here's the unit. It doesn't look too bulky there. The buttons are pretty easy to read. You can see the size of it in the palm of my hand right there. On the back over here, we got the distress button. We're gonna talk more about that here in a little bit. The rest of the stuff, we got the battery charger. It does take some alkaline batteries in case of an emergency, so that's pretty nice. And then of course, we got the antenna here. Again, this is a 6-watt receiver, which means you're gonna get about 3 to 5 miles or so of range. And the lower you are, especially when you're in the water, you're not gonna have as good of a range. So there it is right there. So the main feature that really attracted me to this particular VHF is the built-in GPS. In the situation of those 5 crew members that were out offshore sword fishing, they kind of knew where they were at. As sword fishermen, you kind of know where you're fishing, you know the numbers, you know you're near the 50 line, the 49 line, all that stuff, so you're able to relay your latitude and longitude. But in most cases, I have no clue what my latitude and longitude is, especially when I'm running way south in areas I'm not familiar with. So having the built-in GPS lat long in here is pretty nice. All right, guys, so I just unboxed all the contents here. We got them laid out on the table. You can see here we got the HX890 transceiver. I got the antenna attached to it. You got the 7.4 volt lithium ion battery here. Here's the AC adapter that goes together with the charger cradle. You also have DC 12 volt here, charge on the boat. You have this optional alkaline battery case for AAA batteries. Right here is a belt clip, and then here we have the USB cable. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the battery pack here. We're just going to pop this open, lift the back cover. We're going to install the battery pack just as so. Drop that in there, put the back on, lock that in place. And then here you can see there's also a little lock button right there that keeps it watertight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to power this on. I'm going to first take off this sheet right here. To power it on, you're just going to hold down the on button right there. And you guys see right away we got a warning message. Radio will not transmit any DSC calls until own ship's MMSI entered. So we're going to hit OK. So you actually cannot use this for transmitting until you enter the MMSI. So we're going to go onto the Boat US website. We're going to register this right now, and then we'll come right back here. All right, so now that we have the MMSI number that we registered on Boat US, we're going to go ahead and power the unit on. And you'll see that it warns you that you need to enter that MMSI number. Go ahead and hit OK. And now we want to navigate to the menu item right here, the little white button on the bottom there. Hit that. And then we're also going to navigate to the MMSI position info by using the little arrow key right here to get across. We're going to hit select. And now you can enter your MMSI number. So I'm going to go ahead and enter mine here by scrolling over using these buttons over here. Then you hit select when you get on the right number. All right, and when you enter it on the first line there and you hit finish, it asks you to enter it again on the second line, kind of just verifying that you got those numbers correct. So I'm going to go ahead and enter these numbers again. All right, guys, so now that we got the MMSI in there, the latitude and longitude are now showing as well as the time. And then if there's ever a distress situation, you just pull this tab open right here, you press it, and you'll see that now my GPS, my position here, 2558, 8360 on the north, and then 8007, 2109 on the west. If you were to hold that for 3 seconds, that would send your GPS coordinates right there. So, so I'm not going to hit that, obviously, so we're just going to quit there. But that's pretty nice that this unit now has built-in GPS. There's your lat long. That is exactly why I chose this particular unit. It fits in my hand pretty nicely. It floats. It's waterproof. Great little unit. So I'll put a link in the description, guys, on Amazon where you can buy this and get one for yourself. You've heard the saying, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it when you don't have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a little breakdown of the Standard Horizon GPS HX890 as I build my new boat and I build out my new ditch bag. I actually gave my old VHF to the new owner of my old boat, so I had to buy a new one anyways, and I'm glad I was able to make this video to raise awareness to VHFs that have built-in GPS position. Weather in South Florida, wait 10 minutes.